Multi-award-winning rapper Stormzy's new single, Rainfall, has a video with a bit of a difference. It features the Croydon-born musician as a video games character performing inside an actual game, the soon-to-be-released Watch Dogs Legion. I'm about to meet Stormzy in the flesh. The game that he's appearing in is set in a near-future London and has themes of protest and resistance. I'm keen to find out if he thinks that this video game has any parallels with things that are going on in 2020. One of the game's main themes is about ordinary people banding together to resist and to fight back against an oppressive regime. Do you think that that's saying anything about the world that we live in right now?
It's very reflective in the times and in the sense of, yeah, we as people need to be coming together. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think they capture that perfectly in the sense of, like, your everyday person being more important than they probably realise, you know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely.
A third-person action title, Watch Dogs Legion is set in a dystopian vision of a near-future London, a surveillance state controlled by corrupt corporate interests. The player can recruit and control any of the thousands of characters they encounter on London streets, performing missions which will ultimately bring down the authoritarian regime.
All right, everyone!
Stormzy plays a version of himself, and in this fictional world he's a rapper whose message of resistance is transmitted via pirate video signal. He spent 3 days being performance captured at the game's developers Ubisoft's Toronto studios.
And then where am I blown to?
Now, so, follow the GPS, that should take you there.
Whoa. Storms, what are you doing, lad?
Riding recklessly.
Absolutely recklessly, I know.
Is it that it's the back of Horse Guards, isn't it, down there?
It's so London, it actually blows my mind.
Is it special being in a game that's set in London?
Oh, it's the most. I feel like I am London. Like, London is me. Like, I've got so much. Like, I'm a proper London boy. Like, through and through. Like, and it's my city, and I love it dearly. And it's a big part of who I am as a man and as an artist, and just my character. This is mad.
Yeah.
My bank's up there. Like, literally, if I go, you know.
For people that don't know London, that's Coots & Co. Coots & Co is just up here in the same bank as Her Majesty the Queen.
Bro, that is me. That's more me than a flipping picture. This is mental.
Stormzy isn't the only musician to appear in a video game. He joins a long list of recording artists that includes the likes of 50 Cent. And who could forget David Bowie?
You're not the first video game player to get your soul trapped.
Some of these efforts could be put down to cashing in on a musician's star power in order to shift games, but sometimes it's about an artist pushing themselves by experimenting with a new medium. And there are points of convergence between the two art forms. There's a long history of music being used for protest and to provoke thought about things that are going on in the world today. Do you think that the video games have the power to do that as well?
100,000,000%. Like, I feel like any platform in whatever way, shape or form, like whatever mediums we use as creatives and artists, it's a platform for to speak out against injustice, for it to be like pillars of truth and whatnot, and especially with like video games, like even down to the reach of video games is astronomical. Yeah, 100%. I think especially the times we're in, anything can be a platform to speak out. Yeah.
Away from games and away from your music career, your bursaries to universities, to Cambridge is up and running. How important is it that you use your position to do the things that you are doing?
I'm genuinely like so blessed. I feel like I've got so much platform and so much reach, and I find it my duty and my responsibility to share what I have.
Do you think that means that there's something wrong, that there's something that we need to think about things perhaps a little bit differently?
These things are set up to address the uneven and the injustices in a lot of these areas of society. So yeah, there's so many other, do you know what I mean, people of influence or artists or like public figures doing these things to try and just, do you know what I mean, uplift those who need it a bit more.
Yeah, let the rain fall on my enemy.
From best-selling grime artist to Glastonbury headliner, and now taking on the world of games, the South London star continues to shine.
So I can dance, I just wanna